Shalom. I'm start by giving all the praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh Bashim, Yahushai Bashim, Arachakwadash. Double unto the elder apostles of the great millstone who rule well. And as always, peace and blessings unto the hopefully elect tabernacle of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Now, the Spirit is on us to go into spiritual power, and how that there's going to be a point in time when the Lord is going to transform us and turn His Spirit up upon us, making us supermen. And of course, the opposition got an issue with that. He find it absurd and ludicrous that would even be a possibility. But we're not moved, we're not troubled by the incredulity of our enemies. Our enemies are supposed to have this mindset. They're supposed to, think that way. You guys ain't finna get no damn superhero abilities. Y'all out y'all mind. He's supposed to feel that way. All right. But what this guy is trying to do is he's trying to turn what's good into something evil, because he's using certain words that brothers might say directed towards him, and that's what he's basically focused on. And that's why also, to you, Akim, be mindful of what you say, when you make these videos. Now, of course, the scriptures say that, we're going to definitely do, the Lord said he's going to do in Edom according to his anger and his fury. So there's no telling what the Lord going to have us doing. But we know that that's prophecy. That backs us up. Ezekiel 25 and verse 12 to 14, and many other scriptures. Psalms 137 and verse 9. We're gonna get busy, man. It's gonna be a time of vengeance. And the Lord's gonna turn us up. We're gonna have that power upon us. But right now, we're to be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. So, be mindful of what you say, because this devil will try to, take your words and put it back out there as if you're making threats towards him. All right, Titus 2:8 says, sound speech that cannot be condemned, that he that is contrary part may be ashamed, having no evil thing to say of you. We're to really just be speaking what the scriptures say. All right, so that was just just a little quick exhortation. And don't get me wrong, you brothers are in the spirit, and this is what this devil don't know. He doesn't understand that there's levels to the spirit, and the spirit comes from the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, for different purposes. All right, there's times when the Lord will put His Spirit upon His men to deliver us out of captivity, to go to war with our enemies and overthrow them, overtake them. He will put His Spirit upon us to prophesy. He puts His Spirit upon us to receive secrets. He put His Spirit upon us to do things outside of human abilities. So there's different levels to the Spirit of the Lord. And if the spirit that comes from the heavenly Father, in which there's nothing that He can't do, then how is it a problem when we say that we're going to be able to do anything with the power of the Spirit of the Lord? So I just want to demonstrate that in this lesson. Even though he's putting out these little clips and trying to go against us, we can always use these videos as a counter, to edify. All right, and hey, the way the Spirit is upon us now, with how many brothers, especially in Great Millstone, hey, we're in maximum overdrive. The way so many videos is coming out on a daily basis, defending the name of the Lord and defending His word. The average person would think that we in freaking we got a hyperactivity disorder. You know, like we got HD. But hey, we are hyperactive through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. So let me real quick, let me get that. We wouldn't be able to do this volume of videos if it wasn't for the spirit. Because that spirit of the Lord is upon us. So we have a certain level of power right now. But just wait till the Lord actually increases it. He turns it up. Because like I said, there's levels to the spirit. So let me real quick, let me get Micah 3 and verse 8. This is Micah 3. I'll start at verse 5. The spirit was on Prophet Micah to call out the rulers and the prophets of Israel at this time, right? This is Micah 3 and 5. It says, "Thus saith the Lord concerning the prophets that make my people err, that bite with their teeth and cry peace, and he that putteth not into their mouths, they even prepare war against them. Therefore night shall be unto you, that you shall not have a vision." You know, basically darkness. The Lord's not going to open up your eyes and show you a vision, right? The Lord cutting off communication to these false prophets. It says, "And it shall be dark unto you, that you shall not divine, and the sun shall go down over the prophets, and the day shall be dark over them." So you got prophets out there, you know, who are not in the spirit at all, and they coming in their own spirit, and they're, you know, blinded by their own heart, following after their own counsel, and they're not really prophesying the truth to our people. They're not giving the forewarning of the evils to come. They're giving them assured peace in a time of evil. So the Lord ain't dealing with them, and the Spirit been on us, you know, over the years, starting with the elder apostles on down, to reveal certain of these guys. And people be wondering, man, why these guys always going so hard on these other Israelite camps and leaders? The Lord got that spirit upon us. All right. It says, "Then shall the seers be ashamed, and the diviners confounded. Yeah, they shall cover their lips, for there is no answer of the Most High. But truly I am full of power by the Spirit of the Lord, and of judgment and of might, to declare unto Jacob his transgression, and to Israel his sin." And that's why the Spirit been upon us, you know, to get on these false groups, you know. And Jake get tired of it, but hey, you know, that's the spirit that's upon us. So there's different purposes for the spirit of the Lord. Right now, the purpose is to actually be out there prophesying, teaching, preaching the gospel. That's why it says in Isaiah 61, "The spirit is upon me." Let's get that. Isaiah 61 verse 1, "The spirit of the Lord power is upon me, because the Lord have anointed me." You know, he gave me the anointment, the oil, all right, which is basically the spirit of truth, to understand the word of the Most High, and to proclaim it. All right, it says to preach good tidings. All right, because the Lord have anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He have sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives. And this is how we're breaking down strongholds and pulling Jake, you know, out of the world of darkness, man. Bunch of confusion. There's this wicked world under the vibration of the serpent. All right. Jake captured in all these different religions and false ideologies and philosophies of this world. And Jake listening to us and waking up, and they're, being, freed from that. It says, in the opening of the prison to them that are bound. All right, Jake bound to their sins in the flesh, and we've been cussing Jake out. Jake, the ones that are meant for the elect, they're hearing and they're turning back, repenting, and that's not of us. That's through the Spirit of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai. It says, verse 2, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord, and that's also what we out there declaring. The day of the Lord's return, how He's coming, what He's going to do. Okay, it says, in the day of vengeance of our power, to comfort all that mourn. And we're going to be comforted because the Lord is going to get vengeance upon our enemies. All right, and that day burns in His heart. But first, the Lord had to come and proclaim the gospel first. That's what He did the first time He came on the scene. All right, to minister the kingdom, the grace, to His hearers, those that were going to hear and walk and follow Him. It says, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called the trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that He might be glorified. So that spirit is upon us. Okay. So the Spirit is upon us to declare to Jacob their sins and their transgressions, and to teach them to repent. The Spirit is also upon us to preach the good news. All right, that glory is coming. The kingdom is going to come. Are we getting ready to be delivered out of these chains of darkness and receive those glorious bodies, man? We're getting ready to inherit incorruption, immortality. That's good news. We're no longer going to groan, being burdened with these bodies. All right. And imagine how turned up the Spirit's going to be then when we're changed. Because the Spirit, is holy. So of course it needs to be dwelling in a holy tabernacle. But this filthy flesh that we got, but we're still going to be able to do great things. So let's go from there and let's go to Judges, because we're also going to be able to do mighty things, man. Let's go to Judges 13. And this is when the Philistines, came against us. The Lord raised up the Nazarite Samson. This is Judges 13. Let me see. Y'all start at verse 24. It says, and the woman bare a son and called his name Samson, and the child grew, and the Lord blessed him. And the Spirit of the Lord began to move him at times in the camp of Dan between Zorah and Ashtaol. All right, so the Spirit, start to move him, once he came of age. So let's go to the next chapter. And you're going to see what type of things he was doing. All right, the Lord raised him up to be a judge because, our mortal enemy at the time was the Philistines. So the Lord, raised him up. So this is Judges 14. And let me see. I'll start at the top. This is it says, and Samson went down to Timnath and saw a woman in Timnath of the daughters of the Philistines. And he came up and told his father and his mother. and said, I have seen a woman in Timnath, the daughters of the Philistines. Now therefore get her for me to wife. And there was a purpose behind why the Lord, moved him in the spirit to go and want to get a woman of his enemies, right? Then his father and his mother said unto him, Is there never a woman among the daughters of thy brethren, or among all my people, that thou goest to take a wife of the uncircumcised Philistines? And Samson said unto his father, Get her for me, for she pleaseth me well. But his father and his mother knew not that it was of the Lord, showing you that everything is of his will, that he sought an occasion against the Philistines. For at that time, the Philistines had dominion over Israel. Then went Samson down and his father and his mother into Timnath, and came to the vineyards of Timnath, and behold, a young lion roared against them. Now, this wasn't just no regular old, tamed lion like you see in a zoo. These lions back then, they were fierce, and they had size, man. They were very strong. They would rip you apart. They would tear you in pieces, man. All right. So just imagine that, and then just hearing the roar of a lion. I mean, that'll send your heart beating 1,000 times, a thousand minutes per hour, man. Your heart will be racing even if you was 100 feet away from the lion and you heard him roar. That's how loud and strong their voice is. All right, it carries a force. But what happened? Verse 6: And the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him, and he rent him as he would have rent a kid. And he had nothing in his hand, but he told not his father or his mother what he had done. See, the things that the brothers are talking about in the spirit, these scoffers, which show you that they really don't believe the scriptures. They would have you think that what we're speaking is some type of of, some type of science fiction, box office blockbuster. But yeah, you come across scriptures like this and you can believe that though. This wasn't no ordinary thing that he did. This was beyond human strength right here. And that was the Spirit of the Lord that was upon him, showing you that there's levels to the Spirit for different purposes. Now, real quick, when you go to Cross-Ref and read this right here, and it says, Now it is not intimated that he did this by his own natural strength, in which he didn't. If it was based on your own mortal human strength, he wouldn't have been able to do that. Not even Mike Tyson can do no shit like that. All right. It says, but by the supernatural strength communicated by the Spirit of the Lord coming mightily upon him, which strength was not at his own command, but was by the will of the Most High, attached to his hair and Nazareth. All right, so that strength wasn't of him; it came by the Spirit. The Spirit it gives you the power and strength of an angel. We're going to be doing angel-like things, man. That's why it says what it says in Zechariah 12 and 8. He that is feeble among you shall be as David. All right, and as an angel, and we know the angels are known for their strength. The elder Shaman in the main camp, he did a video going into how animals already have spiritual power, the abilities that they're able to do. When you mimic their abilities, hey, some of Esau's technology mimics some of the creation of the Most High. You see? Come on, man. He was going into how you got certain insects that can lift or carry 40 times their weight. You got the ox that can a group of ox they can push or pull 12 to 15,000 tons of weight, because that's how strong oxen really are. Because they're laborious animals. You see, and then when you go into that account in Ezekiel, the first chapter, it goes into when he was describing what those living creatures in those wheels. Those were angels that he saw within the chariots, and he saw four living creatures, and they had wings. He said they had the face of a man because they have the likeness of men, right? And they look like so-called black men, right? They have the image of the Father. But he also described four different animals. And he saw these their faces as these animals, but it also represented the abilities of those particular species that he described. One was the eagle, and the eagle is known for having keen eyesight. All right, miles and miles up, it can look at an ant on a freaking rock. And then it says that they have the face of an ox, and I mentioned the ox is known for its strength. So angels have high level strength. So just imagine if the spirit came upon you and gave you angel like abilities. You're gonna be able to do all kind of shit, man. It's only laughable because these people are in the flesh. They're carnal. They don't believe the things of the spirit. It's foolishness unto them, especially a heathen like vocab. So let's get off from that. Matter of fact, let me read the other translations on it. All right. Uh Judges 14:6 in the NLT, it says, at that moment the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon him, and he ripped the lion's jaw apart with his bare hands. He did it as easily as if it were a young goat, but he didn't tell his father or mother about it. Come on, man. NIV, the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon him so that he tore the lion apart with his bare hands as he might have torn a young goat, a little baby goat. But he told neither his father nor his mother what he had done. So he kept that secret, man, that he even had those abilities. But that was all by the Lord. That wasn't of him. You see? So let's go from there and let's go to the next chapter. Because he did something else while the Spirit of the Lord was upon him. All right, Judges 15. And let's go down to, let's see. Yep, here we go. Judges 15. And I'm going to start I'll start at 11. It says, then 3,000 men of Judah went to the top of Rock Etam and said to Samson, knowest thou not that the Philistines are rulers over us? They got dominion over us right now. What are you doing? What is this that thou hast done unto us? Because he the one that kicked off the beef. Because the Lord saw an occasion with the Philistines, right? And he said unto them, as they did unto me, so have I done unto them, right? And they said unto him, we are come down to bind thee, that we may deliver thee into the hands of the Philistines. And Samson said unto them, swear unto me that you will not fall upon me yourselves. All right, that's cool. Y'all can take me over there because I want the smoke anyway. But y'all promise y'all don't kill me. All right, so these were some Judites that he was telling that. They were like, hey, man, you bringing smoke our way, man. We're going to have to, we're going to have to give you up. In verse 13, it says, and they spake unto him, saying, no, but we will bind thee fast and deliver thee into their hand, but surely we will not kill thee. And they bound him with two new cords. And think about it. These wasn't just no regular, these weren't no extension cords, all right? These were straight up thick ropes that they bound him with, so that, because they knew I'm pretty sure they knew he had angel-like strength. So they tied him up with two thick cords, ropes, and brought him up from the rock. And when the Lord, Slakia, and when he came unto Lehi, the Philistines shouted against him, and the spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him. Again, and the cords that were upon his arms became as flax that was burnt with fire. So these tight, thick ass ropes that he was tied with, as soon as the spirit of the Lord came upon him, they just broke off of his arms as if he melted through them. That's divine strength right there, man. All right. Imagine, you know, like you can't even get out of cuffs. You don't even have the might to get out of cuffs if Esau, comes and arrests you. You know, it says, and he found a new jawbone of an ass, a donkey, and put forth his hand and took it and slew 1,000 men therewith. That's divine power. That's superhuman strength. Okay, that's beyond human ability. That's supernatural right there. For one man to take the jawbone of a donkey and kill 1,000 men with it. I mean, you fight one on one with somebody for like 2 minutes, you're done. You're out of breath. You know, you need to take a water break. But this man was fighting 1,000 men and slew all of them. And Samson said, with the jawbone of an ass, heaps upon heaps, with the jaw of an ass have I slain 1,000 men. So he triumphed after that. All right. So it's amazing what the Spirit of the Lord can have you do, because there's levels to it. And right now, the level that He has us is right now, and we're in maximum overdrive, man. We're hyperactive in the spirit to push these scriptures, push the word out, go into these prophecies, exhort one another, and tell you about the things that are to come. But there's going to be a next level. You see, it's going to be a next level, man. And this is what they're hoping don't happen. All right. So let me go to Isaiah 59. Isaiah 59, verse 19, it says, so shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun, when the enemy shall come in like a flood. The Spirit of the Lord is going to get active. And this is what we're trying to tell you. Soon as these devils make their move upon the men of the Lord, the Spirit of the Lord is going to get active. That's when things are going to turn up. You're going to finally start to see the right hand react. It says, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. That's going to happen. That's what we're telling you. That's getting ready to happen. All right. We're gonna some divine like energy is gonna come upon his men, and people are gonna be getting put to flight. We're gonna have that ability again. Okay. And there's many other things, man. All right. As a matter of fact, even when it comes to us changing, when we get changed, that's gonna be by the Spirit of the Lord. 2 Corinthians 3. I'm gonna start at 17. It says, now the Lord is that Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there's liberty. But we all, with open face, beholding as in a glass the glory of the Lord, are changed into the same image from glory to glory, even as by the Spirit of the Lord. So we're going to go from one glory to the next glory. We saw what happened. We saw that happen with our Lord, Yahweh Shai. All right. It's going to be the same for us. Even his disciples, they went from a glory to another. They went from being regular men that with occupations, jobs, having a regular life to when they started following Yahweh Shai, they started doing powerful things, man. They was doing some of the things that the Lord was doing. And then what did the Lord tell them? John 14. So like, let me go down. Yeah, John 14 and verse 11, it says, Believe me that I am in the Father, and the Father in me, or else believe me for the very work's sake. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I shall do, he shall do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father. And that's where the Spirit comes from. The Spirit comes from the Father. Okay? And Yahweh Shai is our access to it, because we can't go to the Father but by him. The Spirit couldn't even be sent down until he came down and fulfilled the will of the Father and died on the cross and became that sacrifice. And that opened up access to the Spirit. The Spirit was able to come down upon us. And that's why he told his disciples, let's go to Matthew 28 and start at 18. And it says, And Yahweh Shai came and spake unto them, saying, All power is given unto me in heaven and in earth, because he went from glory to glory. All right. What did Yahweh Shai when he went and sent and made that long prayer? What did he tell him? He basically said, "Glorify thou me as you have." Let me see if I can get that real quick. Go to John 17 real quick. John 17 verse 1. It says, "These words spake Yahweh Shai, and lifted up his eyes to heaven and said, Father, the hour is come. Glorify thy Son, that thy Son also may glorify thee. And as thou hast given him power over all flesh, that he should give eternal life to as many as thou hast given him." All right. So he's asking his Father to, hey, glorify me so I can glorify you. That time is coming, or that is come. It says, and this is life eternal, that they might know thee, that only true power, and Yahushua Mashiach, whom thou hast sent. I have glorified thee on the earth. I have finished the work which thou gavest me to do. And now, O Father, glorify thou me with thine own self, with the glory which I had with thee before the world was, as the Son of the Most High who sits upon his right hand. So you know he got all the power, all the glory. All right. The Lord can do anything. And he telling his disciples, the things that you see me do, you gonna do. And even greater works than these, man. So let's go back. So this is him giving them, encouragement. All right. All power is given unto me in heaven and earth. Go you therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Ghost. Right? Teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you, and lo, I'm with you always, even unto the end of the world, a month. All right, and he was with them. And starting from the the Feast of Pentecost, when all those Jews from all over the world was coming down, they witnessed those acts, those works. And that's when they converted a lot of brothers and sisters, man. In the day of thy power they shall be willing. So right now, just with the level of the spirit that's upon us now, a lot of brothers and sisters are coming in. This is a worldwide thing, and all our apostles did and their elders did was just teach. And this movement is shaking the whole world, man. You had that clown Charleston White talking shit about us and said that nobody talk about the Hebrew Israelites. Ain't no poor people and no rich people, and nobody talk about them. And you a freaking lie. But I understand you're just doing what you do for controversy. All right, you know damn well we're well known. All right, the scriptures talk about um being unknown, but was that in Second Corinthians or First Corinthians? As unknown but well known. All right, we're Israel, the he especially the One West groups becoming very infamous, man. So anyway, so you see that the spirit has different levels to it, man, and it serves different purposes. And we're telling you, all right, you whether you a Christian, whether you the elites or whoever, that the Lord's gonna put His Spirit upon us, and it's gonna be on a different level, man. It's gonna be on a different level. Okay, we're gonna have abilities that we would never be able to have just in these mortal bodies, man. The Spirit can do amazing things. All right, He could use us as battle axe and weapons of war. He can use us to prophesy, to receive mystery secrets. Different things, man. The Lord had them healing people. We're gonna be doing that. You had the Spirit caught away Philip. It actually teleported him. But yet it's laughable when we say that we're gonna be superhuman. This is Acts 8. Yeah, I'm gonna just get straight to the point. Acts 8 and verse 38, it says, and he commanded the chariot to stand still, and they went down both into the waters when the Ethiopian eunuch was getting baptized. It says both Philip and the eunuch, and he baptized him. And when they were come up out of the water, the Spirit of the Lord caught away Philip, that the eunuch saw him no more, and he went on his way rejoicing. But Philip was found at Azotus, and passing through, he preached in all the cities till he came to Caesarea. All right. So the Spirit caught him away. The NLT, it says, when they came up out of the water, the Spirit of the Lord snatched Philip away. The eunuch never saw him again, but went on his way rejoicing. NIV, when they came up out of the water, the Spirit of the Lord suddenly took Philip away, and the eunuch did not see him again, but went on his way rejoicing. And ended up all the way in a whole nother city. You see? It said the Spirit of the Lord snatched him away. What the heck does that mean? Did the Spirit just pull him by his garment and then, you know, no, it caught him away. It teleported him to a whole nother place. That's come on, man. If Esau saw one of us do something like that, the investigation would be on us real quick. So, and before I even end this lesson, I want to revisit that story that brothers was bringing out about, I say maybe almost 2 years ago now. Right, you had the brothers, Elder Kazak in Mississippi, ICR from the Charlotte camp, the brother Barak Allah, the elder brother in L.A. Brothers was going into this story, which this was found in this book called It was called the mystery the Ascension Mysteries, revealing the cosmic battle between good and evil by David Wilcock. All right, and he had confidential information, secret government information that's not revealed to everybody, and he actually, revealed it. He put it out in a book. And when you read this, those of you that have, you're feeble minded, and you really don't have faith, you really won't believe this. All right. It was a story about a figure that they found in Africa in the 60s, which they referred to him as a black Jesus, basically a black Messiah type of individual. But what he was known for was his abilities, his supernatural abilities, man. All right. And I just want to read it real quick, because when you read it, it sounds like something fictional, but this is actual confidential information. All right. The elites know about these type of things, but they try to hide it from the public. And when I first heard this story, man, brothers was hyped, man. I was hyped. You know, this is the story, and I'll read this real quick. It says the story of Black Jesus says, and so when I came across the story of the Black Jesus in David Wilcock's latest book, in which I actually have the book, by the way, it says, my discernment filter was on high alert. The story sounded hard to believe based on my ordinary everyday consciousness and personal experiences. However, having David Wilcock recount the story as coming straight from one of his trusted confidential sources adds a bit of credibility to it. That did not mean I truly believed it or fully believe it to this day, but I continue to try to make sense of this story in terms of how it fits within my current paradigm of reality. And certainly in this regard, it remains within the realm of possibility for me. Here's the story as recounted in the book. All right, so let's read it. It says, one of the most surprising stories Jacob ever told me concerning a man they called the Black Jesus, which, we know our Lord's name is Yahushua. All right, it says, he said this was highly classified, and he was definitely taken out of school to tell me about it at all. Apparently, in the 1960s, a man appeared in Africa who had full ascended abilities. All right, this is something that vocab is scoffing at. The idea of, we're telling you we're going to have full ascended abilities. It says he could read people's minds, materialize objects out of thin air. And Yahushua had the ability to do these things. Why think ye this in your hearts? You know. So the Lord, he knew how to read minds. All right, communicate telepathically, levitate himself, and teleport his body from one location to another. The one body leader, he said, "Oh, that guy was a witch." That dude was he was on another level, man. A witchcraft, man. That was a witch, man. Y'all believe these fairy tales, man? Yeah, that dude, man. The Lord's just gonna do something to him, and either the Lord's gonna do something to make him believe, or the Lord just gonna take him out, man. That guy's a complete clown. It says he was a spiritual teacher who emphasized love, peace, service to others, and forgiveness as the common core that unified all the great religions. It says the cabal does not want anyone to develop these abilities. And the cabal is another name for the globalist elite, the international banking families, the Illuminati. They got different names, but they call them the cabal. And hell yeah, they don't want anybody to develop those abilities, especially us. That's why they try to cut us off from our excellency. Was that Psalms 62? They only consult together to cast us down from our excellency. They don't want us to reach these type of heights. So they'll send a guy like Vocab to you know uh, 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 send doubt into our people. Cast doubt and put doubt demons on you. That you don't reach your fullest potential. And then we see what he's coming with on the left hand side with all his super soldiers. He's trying to give people abilities on the left hand side. Technology, putting brain chips in your head so you can have a perfect memory. You know, give you abilities to walk if you were a paraplegic. He's talking about putting little tiny robots into your bloodstream to cure diseases, man. So he thinks he's the most high on the left hand side. He doesn't want us to. If he sees you with the right hand power, he's gonna deem you a threat. You're an adversary. All right. He's coming with the power of Satan with all power, signs, and lying wonders. But that's going to be countered by the Spirit. He's going to be very triggered, man. He's going to be threatened, and he's going to be afraid too. It says, and if they find out that someone has them, they will hunt those people down and terminate them with prejudice. Hey, well, the scriptures say this, because I read also in Isaiah 59 that when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Lord will lift up a standard against them. Let's go real quick to Revelation 12. Revelation 12, and let me see. Or it might be in a previous chapter. Yeah, this is Revelation 11 and verse 4. It says, these are the two olive trees and the two candlesticks standing before the power of the earth, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth. Vocab. Really? You ain't know about this? That this is in the book of Revelation? It's talking about fire proceeding out of these men's mouths and devour their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. So that's why we're confident they can come for it, man. Come on with it. And that's why they're tippy-toeing around us. They sending little weak demons like you, vocab. And what you doing is not holding up. You can demonize us, you can try to link us to terrorism and extremism, whatever you want to do. But you're only doing what the Lord said you would do. And the Lord said, blesses those, that shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my name's sake. The accuser of the brethren is going to be cast down regardless. All right. It says, these have power to shut heaven, that it rain not in the days of their prophecy, and have power over waters to turn them to blood, to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they will. All right. So the prophets always had power by the Spirit. And I read a few of those. Elijah had power. We didn't even get into that. That was through the Spirit of the Lord. The abilities that he had, that was all by the Spirit. All right. So let's go back and let's finish it. It says, the cabal made several attempts to assassinate this man. He consistently regenerated his body after each attack, no matter how lethal it seemed to be. Right? And it was basically the elements being brought back together every time they did what they did. That's angelic. It says, finally, the man was told that they had given up. He was too powerful. He was far too powerful. There was nothing they could do to stop him, and they were going to surrender. They invited him to a major world summit and told him they would reveal him to all of humanity so that he could share his message. He was brought on board a military transport aircraft. Once airborne, he was shot repeatedly. His body was divided into many different sections. So they shot him up and then they, basically hacked him up. Each of which was stored in a super high-tech energy shielded container. Jet aircraft rushed up to the plane in sequence and scrambled the containers all over the earth, as far apart as possible. The contents were then thoroughly and completely destroyed. It was hoped that this would prevent him from being able to regenerate himself. It sounds like science fiction, don't it? And this was done the man materialized directly into the offices of the people who had ordered his murder. There was no visible signs of damage to his body. Wow. He said, your desire to prevent me from living on earth is so strong that I am forced to honor it for now. I will be leaving you shortly. However, in the future, many more people will develop the abilities just like me. And that right there, man, the first time I heard that, that sent chills, you know. That sent chills up my spine, man. He laid that on them. You know that they, man, I'm sure their faces was was pained. Once that happens, you will no longer be able to stop us from making this world a peaceful place for everyone. And that's a message to the elite. You won't be able to stop what's getting ready to happen, man, because hey, this is the Lord's doing. This is his program. All right. You cannot fight against the most high. All right. At the end of the day, the counsel of the Lord is what shall stand. He can make the counsel of the heathen of none effect. He can take away your power, and he's gonna do that. You see? So yeah, man, this was a powerful story, man. And I thought back to when Yahushua said in John 14 that the many works that you see me do, you shall be able to do. And you compare that to this statement. All right, in the future, many more people will develop abilities just like me. That's a sign to the elect. The Lord's gonna turn us up. And this is definitely the spirit. Only the spirit can do this. The spirit of the Lord, man. Because there is nothing impossible with the Heavenly Father. The spirit raised up Yahushua, the spirit of the Lord. So any of us that died, the spirit will raise us up in that time. And we will be changed in the twinkling of an eye. Just imagine that it just in the twinkling, just in a very snap of a finger, just within an eye blink, you now hold the abilities that nothing that anything that Esau created on this earth cannot hold a candle to. So anyway, I'm gonna stop it right there, man. I had to, go in and do a lesson. You know, the spirit been on brothers to go into it. And vocab, hey, you give us mainly the inspiration for it. So hey, thank you to you. So hopefully, this lesson was edifying. I'm gonna give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shem Shai. And until the next lesson, Shalom.